Changing minds one thought at a time.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the Motivate Social Podcast, where we are bringing you people who are changing the world via social media. I am Dr. Ikena Finch, and of course, I have my lovely co-host with me, Vanessa Canterbury. How you doing today, Vanessa?
I'm great. How are you?
I am fabulous, and you have a special guest for us today, right? Tell us about it.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's interesting. We said this many, many times before of the power of social media. And this gentleman, he had reached out to me after he seen one of my comments in a post in a group on social media, and reached out to me and was just asking me a series of questions and everything else because he was nervous about the journey that he was about to go upon because he's seen so many negative comments. So he trusted me with his vision and decided to be able to move forward. And I'm just more excited of the things that he's doing and the message behind this his latest project that he's been working on for 8 years. So for 8 years to turn into a reality is something absolutely amazing, and I'm excited for him to be able to share this vision that he had. So Derrick Smith, how are you?
I am good. I am good.
Well, it's such a pleasure to have you here. We're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to ask you the question as we ask everyone. How are you changing the world via social media?
I think the big thing is posting something positive, whether that be a video that makes somebody laugh or food that makes everybody, ooh, I want to eat that. I want to try that. Because every day, I think, as we all know, people on social media say something negative, you see something that's going to get a rise out of you. I try to have something to make somebody think, laugh, relax. That social media to me is a place of where you can think and laugh, and it doesn't have to be so intense. So I try to post things that are funny, thought provoking, sort of retro, that get people out of the frame of mind of, oh my God, do you see what such and such just posted? Or I can't believe this meme or this video. Is people need positive affirmations and positive images, so I try to post those things.
That makes perfect sense. So, in a world where they have so many things going on, why did you choose that route? Does that have something to do with what you do?
Um, Honestly, it started with when I turned 40. I read this book called Intelligence for Your Life of just how people over 35 need positive things, of where it just sort of stimulates the brain. And I just started thinking that as all of the people from my college days, work, and all the different, is they're so used to posting things that are either negative, political, racial, that invoke such sometimes hate, rage, and all these other feelings that people sometimes just need a moment to just laugh. Like one of the first videos I posted was of two sports anchors looking at a video of a woman walking across a runway, and she had these high platform shoes on, and she fell across the runway. And so many people looked at it and laughed, was like, oh, I needed that laugh. And little by little, I would post things to make people think, a quote to make people think, or heartwarming video that says, oh, this is really nice. Because sometimes in the world we live in now, you just need something that's going to stimulate your brain in the other direction.
That is so true, especially what we just experienced last year alone. My goodness, a lot of people have dealt with a lot of mental issues because that was different. than what we ever expected. So just running across something on social media, because now they have more time to see something positive, you probably just made that switch in them to be able to say, oh, okay, let me look at this different. And that's very, very important. Now I want to be able to because I see that you shine away from talking about, what you have in your hands and what you've been working on for 8 years. Is a lot of people who have been dreaming about doing something and just, kept it a dream. But you said, you know what, I'm going to move forward no matter how much I see these negative comments or whatever the case may be. I'm going to go ahead and move forward and take that leap of faith. And you did just that. But not only did you do that, you turned around and I just want you to be able to express and share what is it that you have in your hands that's going to be so beneficial to educators, because you are an educator. So let's talk about it. Don't shy away from it. This is something
Okay.
amazing. Let them know. Let them know.
So with the book, it started 8 years ago when I started teaching the GED in ESL. And one of the things that I found in the 3 years that I was there is that one of the reasons why a lot of the students I taught didn't finish high school was what I call the development of self. Whether that they thought they didn't have any dreams, ambition, poor, from underserved neighborhoods, is that sense of self wasn't really developed. And the second part that came from my 3 years there was that the pressure of some of the kids who I taught, if they didn't get their GED, they would go back to jail, or they would lose their housing license or their daycare license. And I was the last line between them and the proverbial end. And I had to think of ways to motivate, to create a sense of just drive and push and push and push. And little by little, I started to get students to graduate. But I eventually moved on from there, and I took a job 3.5 years later at a private school, serving a different set of kids, but sort of the same problems of where that sense of self is. They didn't had trouble in public school, whether that be bullying, teasing, not fitting in, and then also taught in the high school. And we had, students who didn't feel ready for the world, and it was a daunting task. So one day I saw this video of a football coach who was talking about a transitions class, and he made all the football players take it, and it dealt with social issues. It dealt with developing the sense of self, it money management, all these life skill things that he believed that was far more important than just football. And I began reading his name is Bill Snyder. I began reading all of his books and just began taking notes. And as I started to learn and read and develop concepts for an approach of how I wanted to work with underserved kids and what that really looked like, and just started reading different books. And you fast forward to a year ago, we had the largest group of middle school students who were either bullied, low self-esteem, and also a group of high school kids that didn't have either workforce skills or college skills. So I went in my laboratory and just started thinking like, they actually need a transitions class. from middle school to high school and high school to life. And I spent time talking with different teachers, folks in higher education, some of my own professors of what those things sort of look like. And I wrote the first middle school curriculum for our middle school transition, and I also wrote the one for the high school. And we had a teacher teach it in the middle school. And what we found was that sense of self is very important. Those skills that we take for granted as adults, our kids need now. So this book here, like I said, is just a collection of concepts from higher education, football coaching, all mixed into one that I think is going to reshape education, but is also, as I get ready to launch my Trailblazer Academy to work with teachers and students about middle school transitions and life issues, it's going to me, begin to help people develop that sense of self. Because you can't be ready for the world if you don't have that sense of self. You can't be ready for high school and all the academic challenges if we don't develop that sense of self. And that's really what this book is about for not just the student, but as well as the teacher.
That is something to truly think about. You know, when did we learn our sense of self? And when did the kids stop actually missing that sense of self in their development? That is a very, very important statement. So, when you decided to write the book and decided to make the transition classes, and you found out that this is necessary, would you say that that is a gap in the research that's out there right now?
Extremely, because in this part of the country that is with the increased college prep regulations, is that there are a lot of kids that I teach now in our private school who either don't have college prep skills, probably don't plan on going to college, want to go to college, but don't have the skills or the self-esteem. And learning how to give them that sense of self, working them with reading harder things, being comfortable with, if I'm not going to college, or if I'm going to a 2-year school, that there's still value in going to a 2-year school. There's value in cutting hair. There's value in being a plumber and a mechanic. Is that I haven't found a lot of research that deals with the type of kids that I teach. I see a lot of it being geared towards special ed. Is like the term transition is very much deeply rooted in special ed. And what I'm trying to do is just sort of bring to light that there are kids out there that need help transitioning middle school to high school life, in those little fine-tuned things that make them prepared. Is like in my high school to life class, they do a capstone project, just like me in my EDD program. They solve a problem of practice. I just cut out some of the things that aren't meant for them, the sort of research based, but they look at a problem in whatever profession they want to choose, and they come up with solutions, and they present it in front of a live audience. And I truly believe that you have to prepare kids for the world now to be problem solvers, critical thinkers, think deeper about how they look at situations. That to me is so far important of why not just this book, but there's going to be support resources that will actually be for students. A journal that will be probably sometime in December, once I sketch it all out, that'll be with this book. Because like I said, I have just found like in the last year that the development of self and giving kids a real opportunity to think deeper, to think critically. And I was telling Vanessa, I just had my kids do a TED Talk, and they were so touched by that they got a chance to tell their stories, tell their perspectives, and really think like, wow, this higher level stuff, I can do that. I don't have to be afraid that if, whether that be a mechanic, one did a wonderful presentation on what a hairdresser and the self-esteem a hairdresser can provide, her TED Talk. It was wonderful and it was moving. And the confidence in which she spoke about her chosen profession, you're like, wow, you're developing leaders, you're developing critical thinkers. And that's what gets me up every day doing this and wanting to write more, research more. And that's why as soon as I finish my EDD and get that out of the way, my Trailblazer Academy will be coming soon.
I'm so proud of you. I am so proud of you. You hit on a lot of things that um, when I was younger, um, and I remember being in this program where they helped um, more kids with education, as far as a lot of times kids need help, not just in the school because the teachers are taking so many students out throughout the day. They only have so much time. So they will provide tutors and all this extra stuff that the kids would need. And it made a big difference. And I was one of them. And it's so hard to find that
Mhm.
now. And when they take away the funding from these programs, it just gives the kids the more of an opportunity, which is unfortunate. It pushes them to the streets. It pushes them to be involved in things that they should not be involved in because somebody else done gave up on them. They screaming out for help, and for you to be able to say, you know what, I can see there is a need, and let me sit here and find a way to be able to help and not give up on them. That alone is hands down. That's so commendable. And so I'm looking forward to, like, what's next for you. I'm looking forward to the more success that you have with these children and showing them that there's another way, and let me show you how. That's I just, because I know that touched me when I was having a hard time in school and somebody didn't give up on me. I couldn't get the help at home after school. The teachers was, couldn't help me. But then somebody said, you know what? I see there's a need. And let me just take whoever is willing to say they need the help, and we'll find somebody to help them. And that's exactly what you are doing with what the masterpiece that you have created. Because I say it's a masterpiece because I've seen it. It's absolutely a masterpiece. So I just keep doing what you're doing. You are making a difference in this world. So what's next? What is next? What when you did you share this out with the students yet? Did you share with the teachers yet?
I,
I want to
I,
know. I'm
I,
a kid
I,
in the candy store. I want to know.
I've shared it with my students, and the first thing they said is, "You're not leaving yet. You got to promise to hand us our diploma." Is when they see this, they're like, "We ain't, no. You got a job to do." Is they're happy, but also at the same time, it's just like they know how much I tell them all the time. This writing is a passion of mine, but they're like, you still got to be here to teach us. And I said, I'm not going anywhere. But what's next is finishing my EDD. Hopefully, I'll be finished this summer. Then Trailblazer Academy will be coming, hopefully by December. And really launching this full program that I've wrote, and just sharing it with, like I said, everybody, hopefully that I can do a TED Talk. Because I really think people need to understand, especially is with kids, in the book that I use and I made my ninth graders read it and I make my seniors read it. is that I don't know if either of you have read Tuesdays with Maury.
I remember you telling me about that book. Tuesday with Maury?
Yes.
No, I didn't read it.
Uh, the main reason why I have them read it is one of the main characters, Mitch, is a reporter, but he's not happy with being a reporter. He's made all this money and lives and travels and did all these wonderful things, but he wasn't happy with what he was doing. And he sees one day on TV that his college professor is dying, and his college professor kind of reconnects him to, there are more important things than just being a reporter. And one of the reasons why I have them read this is that you don't want to go through life being the what if person. Oh, I wish I had a wrote or drew this, but somebody talked me out of it. Oh, I didn't get over such and such thing or that happened to me, so I didn't do this. I have them really look at, those skeletons that are in their closet, have them face it. And is after they read the book, they write an unscripted paper about where they started from, where they are, and where they want to be. And hopefully after they have read the book, they have cleaned all those skeletons out.
Wow. That's a powerful thought. I love how you use real life examples to get to your point across. Uh, we're similar in that manner. It's shock value.
Because I tell them all the time, I said, if I could go back 25 years in time and be back in high school, I said I never would have been a teacher. I would have gone to art school. Is that I have found now that I love the arts and writing and creating as much as I do teaching.
Mhm.
And I just sort of connect with them, and I tell them all the time is that you have to connect to those things that matter to you. And you can't let something just sit in your brain. And when I showed them this, they're like, wow, he really is serious about living out his purpose, living out his passion. Because if we honestly want kids to graduate from high school and be successful from middle to high and high school life, you have to find ways to motivate what are they passionate about. Kid can't pass English or math or science is if they don't understand what is it that I really want to do, what matters to me, what have I been through, am I comfortable in my own skin? Because the academic stuff will just fall by the wayside as if those building blocks of going back to the development of self, that starts the path to success is when they're really comfortable with themselves.
I totally agree. One of the things that I would say to people often is that you never want to join the most expensive place on earth and somebody didn't get a chance to be able to see your true gift because you didn't believe in yourself, you didn't push yourself, you didn't challenge yourself, you didn't take a step of faith, and you did just that. So at least we get to see you are on a path of having your dreams a reality now. And so I'm excited for all the things that you're about to receive, all the overflow of blessings that's coming your way, because you are really setting up our next generation to know that there are people out here that's not going to give up on them, and you're doing just that. So thank you so much.
And
With that being said, I want you to let people to know
Mhm.
where they can be able to find you on social media, can they be able to get the book? Because the it's not a book, that's the thing. It is really a guide to
Mhm.
be able to help people to be able to, go beyond their right now. So it's not just the book. You done created a huge masterpiece. So this guide, let them know how they can be able to find you on social media, and also how they could be able to get their copy of the guide in their own hands, so they could be able to help it could be somebody else's child that need it, especially with this crazy homeschooling that's going on. How can they get the guide? Let them know, and we'll go from there.
It is on Amazon. It is on Amazon. I do post daily. Is I am going to be posting the link on LinkedIn. Is I am, and don't laugh, I am not on Instagram yet, but I am working my way to getting on Instagram and Twitter. I will be creating, because there will be a whole Trailblazer brand coming out really soon that I want to be branded by, to be able to put more things out and more content out as it relates to these things. But right now, you can find the book on Amazon. It's $40, but it's, like I said, it's well worth it. Is if you go through the full day, full training, is that you'll be transformed as a teacher. The kids will be transformed, because again, it's about every experience and learning from a little bit of everybody. Because in the acknowledgement section, there's, my college professors, the research librarian I worked for in undergrad, the lady who taught the first transition class I wrote, my doctoral folks I work with. There are so many folks that was a part of this process, um, that brought this all together, in that we can learn from everybody's experience.
Well, thank you so much, Derrick, for being with us today and sharing your book with us, and sharing your contact information so that other educators and other parents and student advocates can reach out to you and find out your processes on transition. And that is, it's going to be absolutely amazing. I look forward to reading the book myself. So, and
And one last thing is that I
yeah.
hope you all share with, when you do these podcasts, is that is for like writers who are looking for, like I said, inspiration and things to really make them think and be moved. That I see that, as I've seen a lot of Vanessa's posts. On YouTube, there's something called the Fox 5 Surprise Squad in Las Vegas.
Mhm.
And they have these wonderful videos of the reporters who go out into the Las Vegas community and help people. And you find out just how sometimes when you think people have it bad, there's always somebody out there that's just like, wow, I never knew that. Excuse me. Or somebody could be going through that. It's really touching. It's really thought provoking. In that I encourage, you know, you know, all your future interviewers to just look at that.
Well, thank you very much. I'm sure that our regulars will definitely take advantage of that because it sounds like an amazing resource. And I want to say to everyone who's listening today, thank you so much for listening to the Motivate Social podcast, uh, hosted by Changing Minds Online. And please find us on all social media handles at Change Your Minds Online and Change Mind Online without the E on Twitter. And please find us on Blog Talk, iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio. If you have it, we are there. So just look for the Motivate Social Podcast and find all of our great guests. You will not be disappointed. So with that being said, good night, everyone.
Good night.
Right?